Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Fortin with Michigan Matters. Um, Glad you're with us today. And we have a few things to talk about that are pretty, there's so many things we could talk about. I mean, we're living in a society today where, my goodness, we have 1,000 issues. But today I'm going to bring up a couple. Again, the endless debate over data centers. Now, the other day I saw a speech, a talk, whatever. Danielle Smith, the Premier of Alberta, Canada, spoke to the people of Alberta about data centers. Now, Alberta, as you know, is a very conservative province. They're taxed to death. They are the center of Canada's oil industry, and yet they're restricted from doing a lot of things and making a lot of money by their left-wing liberal globalist Mark Carney government. So the people are rebelling, and they are passed a petition by a large margin to vote to remove themselves from Canada. I hope and pray they do that, because I think I read somewhere if they were a nation on their own, they'd be like the fifth or sixth most wealthy country in the world. And the people of Alberta deserve that, to be able to keep their money and use their oil and sell it throughout the world and so on. So I hope they're successful with that. But they too, it looks like, have been flooded with this huge mega data centers all over the place. And that's become controversial there too. Now, in her speech, they are controlling them though. They have come out and they are got plans to control them. So it sounds, in her speech, it sounded like she was for them, but also definitely realize that this has to be planned, that there has to be guardrails. But in America, oh no, you do what you dang well please. And if they're turned down, the courts will sue the town. And oh my gosh, it's just, they shove this stuff upon us in America. But this is what they're doing there. This thing is called a meta data center. It's really huge, I guess. But no utility bill increases. The center will not raise residential electric rates. Wow. We've been paying for this green scam for years. Look at our electric rates, paying for windmills and solar panels that do not work while they're shutting down our coal facilities. We have to reopen them coal facilities and get rid of these windmills and garbage and get our bills down to what they should be. But then again, where is the Michigan legislature? The Michigan government is in bed and aligned with DTE and all of them. It's like DTE is part of our government. Anytime they want to raise, they get it. Anyway, water use. We'll use the same amount of water as a typical golf course. So it's going to be a closed loop system like we have in our cars. How often do you guys, almost all of us have cars, how often do you add water / antifreeze in your car? Hardly ever. It's a closed loop system, and that's fine. So what's all this talk about 5 million gallons a day and all this garbage? It's nonsense, and naturally they can be regulated and demanded to have closed loop systems that preserve the water. Location and noise. Very few homes are within the site that they're talking about. The facility is kilometers away. Of course, Canada don't go by miles, right? But anyway, kilometers away from homes and all that stuff for the most part, because of all the noise that comes from these things. It's kind of something else I'd like to know. Why are they so noisy? Our laptops aren't noisy, except the whir of the fans inside, if you're listening. And they also have to have decommissioning plans. In other words, they already admit they're only good for like 20 years or so. So what happens when you shut it down? So they have to have, in Alberta, decommissioning plans for the recycling or whatever of all that acres and acres of equipment. But in Michigan, nothing. However, there is a bright hope, and that is the U.S. Congress. They have the Ratepayer Protection Act, H.R. 9340. It is bipartisan, so they got a few left-wing socialists, also with a few Republicans, in support of this. I think the number is 7 and 3 or something. Oh, co-sponsors, 17 total, 13 Republicans, 4 Democrats. Now, this here, it is a federal law aimed at ensuring that the costs of major grid upgrades are borne by the customers who cause them, particularly large industrial and commercial users, data centers, rather than by residential customers and small businesses. The technology is there. There is already at least one company who has created a small nuclear reactor using non-nuclear fuel. And they're going to, I should have looked it up before this broadcast, but they are going to install one somewhere in America in the near future. They admitted it's going to be a red state. So when Michigan's out, it's going to be a red state because blue states probably won't allow it. It's amazing. But it's going to be a test thing. It's operational, but they have not installed one. And so if this thing works, that would be a huge power boost for data centers and communities, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, that's all I had to say about data centers. Now, another subject that's upon us big time and forced down our throats, literally, is flock cameras. Everywhere you go, you're being watched by flock cameras. They are capable of facial recognition. They're capable of all kinds of stuff. Naturally, they can record your license plate. So guess what it's all about, folks? Revenue. The hungry state of Michigan that never has enough money. As they throw it away and everything, they want more money. They're going to watch us and watch us and watch us. Every move you make, it's all going to be in the data centers. This first part that I'm going to read you is very serious. The second part is something I made up. The first part is Article 4 of the United States Constitution. It's only a couple sentences. The first one is critical. It talks about you and me, the right of the people, you and me, citizens. I'm not talking about illegals, criminals. I'm talking about citizens of the United States. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath of affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, makes every one of these flock cameras absolutely unconstitutional on its face, just like every gun regulation law. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I don't need a lawyer to tell me what that means. I don't need a lawyer to tell me that you and I are secure in our persons, our houses, our papers, and effects. And flock cameras and the stuff they have in our houses, General Pompeo years ago said, we will observe what you're doing and hear what you're saying through your dishwasher. And we're all lined up buying smart Wi-Fi appliances. Wow. We have no privacy. We have no privacy in these darn phones. We have no privacy in our TVs or anything. But the Constitution of the United States clearly says the opposite. So I have an amendment, I hope you like it, to Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution. It's a tiny bit longer, but the way things are today, you've got to be as detailed as possible because you got some lunatic somewhere that's going to change the meaning of words. So here it is. In view of the fact, and it has been proven, that our government has been corrupted at all levels, the right of the people to observe all activities of their government shall not be infringed. Therefore, every office, meeting place, bathroom, Congress, Senate, parking lot of all government buildings at all levels of government, whether it be legislative, judicial, bureaucratic, must have flock cameras in operation 24 hours a day. They will be fitted with recording capabilities and AI lip reading capability. Every second of every day of all activities of government will be stored in data centers and easily accessed by any citizen online. Flock cameras and data centers will not collect or store information of citizens under penalty of law. All violations will be a felony. See Article 4 of the United States Constitution. Now that's who I want to use flock cameras for, because that's where the criminals are. not you and I going back and forth to work and everything. Of course, they will be talking about the benefits. Oh, it'll prevent crime. No, it won't. We'll have just as much crime. And when we get the criminal, when a police officer arrests the criminal, a judge will let him out. So I don't want to hear that argument. This thing is unconstitutional, pure and simple on its face. But anyway, that's about all I have for you today, other than the fact that please go to michiganmatters.org. And we have a meeting next week. Michigan Matters PAC has our monthly meeting, the fourth Thursday, which is August 27th. The meeting will be a short 1-hour meeting and followed by a special guest who is going to give a presentation on data centers, Mr. Toludo. And he will be there and discuss data centers. And I'm sure there'll be questions and answers and all that. I'm not sure about what's going to be discussed. It might be a mixture of pro and con. I don't know. But you're more than welcome to come. And that will be, you'll see that on the website. Also, on September 25th, we're having our fall festival. We're calling it our midterm fall festival. There will be a chili cook-off there and everything. We don't have the flyer ready for that yet, though, so watch our website for more detailed information. So I know we will have some candidates there. It will be announcing who will be there very soon. Anyway, I want to thank you for being with us today. Please pray for our state and our country. Pray for the midterm elections and our families. God bless all of you, and thank you for being with me today.